It's completely within your control what you do with your life. And if you decide that you'd like to live your life feeling sad and miserable, do you feel like that is choosing the better path for yourself? Because if not, if you feel like that's not choosing the better path, the knowledge that you have to change yourself, to change your thoughts, to change your mindsets, and the fact that you have the power to control this, you have the power to do this, it's insane. And it's so empowering. It's such an empowering thing to say, okay, I'm not choosing the better path for myself right now, and I'm going to make the conscious decision to choose it. And then it's like, boom, okay, great. What now? What next? Okay. You have that power, and you have the power to choose the better path, pick the better path. And one thing I realized around this and around making the decision to choose the better path, to choose a better life, is that it actually, what it comes down to is brainwashing yourself. And for those who are connected with me on Instagram or social media, you would have seen my latest post about brainwashing yourself. It's legitimately a thing, like brainwash yourself. And brainwashing has such a negative connotation, but I had this conversation a few days ago, because I've just moved into a new apartment. I was coming home, and every time I see a neighbor, I'll introduce myself as I'm new to the block of apartments. How you doing? And this guy was like, he was talking about investments. So I was like, okay, cool. It's like this older Australian dude. And he's just talking about investments and how interesting it was to buy property here and everything. And then out of the blue, he just kind of flipped the whole conversation and talked about he was sexist, racist, homophobic, like all of the things that this old white man would, typically, like, that's kind of the demographic that you'd hear this stuff from. And me and my sister were like, oh, hold up, no thank you, we want no part of this conversation. So we kind of ended it. Yeah, but it got really intense. And one of the things that he mentioned was, oh, well, you wouldn't think that men calling themselves women is wrong because school brainwashed you into thinking that. We were like, nope, they didn't. And we didn't even talk about that when I was at school. But even if we did, it's like, what the fuck? And then I realized, yeah, brainwashing has this huge negative connotation. But at the same time, brainwashing works, right? Brainwashing works. It is a legit thing that people do. It's like, think about it, washes out your brain to put new thoughts, new mindsets, new beliefs into it. So why are we not actually trying to brainwash ourselves? Because especially for overthinkers and people who are not really happy with where they are at in life, there's a lot of thoughts and negative stuff that can come up over and over and over again. And it's essentially because life has brainwashed you so far to think that way, to be that way, to feel that way, and to think that's how life is. But what if you could brainwash yourself to be different, think different, believe different? How empowering would that be? I'm reading a book at the moment called The Courage to Be Disliked. And it talks about the fact that when we sit with those feelings of unhappy, unworthiness, not feeling good enough for anything, it's just that choice of being like, okay, well, I'm choosing to sit in that feeling. And it goes on and on like that. And he says that it's a choice and you're choosing it every single time. Stop making that choice. And sometimes when people say that, it can feel so frustrating because you're like, but you don't fucking understand. Life is fucking hard. Like, fuck off. And I totally get that because I've been there as well, where it's like, seriously, you just don't get it. It's really hard. But when we're like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm over it being hard. I want my life to be easy. I want my life to be good. I want my life to be fun. Then we just choose it, choose the better path. And it's not going to be a flick of a switch like, okay, life is better now. But because you start making that choice and that commitment, then you start taking actions to follow up that choice, to make that choice legit. And then you continue to move forward with actions that support that idea or support that way of thinking. Choosing the better path might involve, for example, joining a group coaching program like I did. I was feeling a few months ago like, what can I do next? I really know that there's space to level up. I know that there's space for me to be better. I know there's space for me to grow, but I have no idea how. I'm actually really stuck. How can I make my life better? I know I can. There's so much room for improvement, but where do I start? And then this opportunity came up to go on to be part of a group coaching program. And it spoke to everything that I was feeling frustrated about or feeling stuck about, and joined it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it's been a few months and I'm like blown away by the amount of transformation it's taken me through. And a huge thing for me is realizing that there's somebody to lead me and there's someone to guide me, but it's still ultimately me. It's still ultimately my commitment, a commitment to myself, to do the work, to put in the effort, to embody the work. So not just write down, I'm going to do this, but actually do it. And then making my life better, choosing the better path. So are you choosing the better path? Are you choosing the better path every day? That's my question to you right now. Do you feel like today you chose the better path? And I think you know which path that is. And if you didn't, how can you choose the better path tomorrow? How can you choose it this weekend? How can you choose it next year? Holy crap. Next year is like 2 weeks away. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm fine. 2022. That's such a mouthful as well. I'm like, what? Anyway, my point is, choose the better path and it will reward you so much for that. Life will just get better as soon as you make the choice. Choose it. Don't half-ass choose it. Choose it. And if you're interested to see a reflection on 2021, to set goals for 2022, to set a vision, to understand what went well, for books that you can read, for podcasts you can listen to, let me know. Contact me on Instagram, Chelsea Emma, or go to the link in my bio, or go to the link in this podcast, and you will find a guide and planner that I made for you for next year. And it also has the reflective questions for this year just gone. It's really, really important that you just take that time and effort to commit to something like as small as this. Choose the better path for yourself, for the year, for your life. And then you'll live a life of passion, of fun, of incredible, amazing, fucking awesomeness. And I'm actually just so excited for you.